is Larry the Barberman. Today I am at the bike shed with Frank Reimer of Thy Barber. Just going to be doing an interview for Barber Evo. Frank will be featured on the front cover of the second issue of Barber Evo, so I'm just coming in to have a catch up with Frank to see how he's getting on. So Frank, I think the last time I came here to see you was about a year ago. You was pretty much a one-chair shop. Since then you've grown, you've actually got a team. Tell me, we all know about you, tell me a little bit about your team and your, I don't know,
the guys. Well, like you said, like we started off like nearly a year and a half ago now. And when we first moved into the shop, obviously I've been working in London for like 6 or 7 years, so I'd already had a strong client base. So when we opened up the doors, I was already fully booked. So I was quite lucky and fortunate with that. Paulie, on the other hand, when he moved here, he moved up from the south of England. So like he didn't have a single client. He's just moved to a completely new city. He didn't know a single soul up here, and now he's pretty much fully booked nearly every day. And it only took him about 6 or 7 months to get that way too. So I mean, he's done really, really well. The guy's great with clients. His haircuts are outstanding. He's now shaving as well. Like when he came here, he couldn't shave. Now he can, and he's brilliant at it. The guy puts a lot of love into his work, which is a really good asset for the shop. I mean, to be honest with you, I couldn't do the shop without him. So it's great to have him on board. So we were a two-chair shop. I mean, the shop looks a lot different now. We've actually refurbed it a little bit. We've now put a third section in, so we've got a third chair. We've been joined by our new lad, Edmund Rowe, or Ed Roadman, as we like to call him. And since, again, he's exactly the same. I mean, the guy came in for a haircut before I'd even knew he was a barber. He just came in as a punter, you know. He just walked into the shop, had a haircut, me and him got chatting, and I always remembered him because he came in and had a flat top boogie. So he had like a flat top with fenders, and like, you know, that's quite a rare haircut to get in the shop. I mean, we do a lot of psychobilly quiffs, like rockabilly stuff, and for someone to come in and just say like, yeah, I want a flat top with fenders, I mean, it's quite a striking haircut. And I posted a thing up on Instagram saying we're looking for a third barber. And he was one of the first people that emailed us, and he said, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm the guy who had the flat top boogie. And I was like, how the hell can I not remember you? So I've got him in for an interview, and standard Thy Barber style, we went out drinking until 2 in the morning, and it was just evident that he fit in. So got him to come in, do a trades test, and that was it. He's now part of the family. So yeah, he's been killing it. I mean, the guy's cuts are, again, exceptional. The guy's blow drying is really good. And the nice thing about them both as well is they're so humble about everything. They're very willing to learn. So if I see something that I'm not happy with, I'll come over while they're cutting a client and say, look, I think maybe you should do it this way, and they just take it on board like that. There's no question about it. They're always willing to up their game, and that's what I really admire about both of them. Is there's no egos in the shop. It's really, really nice. It's a great atmosphere. So yeah, but since they've joined the team, it's just been brilliant.
Okay, and is it fair to say that you've kind of kept the same style? Because last time I interviewed you, kind of said that your speciality was rockabilly and those kind of traditional kind of haircuts.
Our specialities are the classic cuts, and rockabilly just tends to fall into that genre, which is, again, very fortunate. But we get a lot of the rockabillys in, we get a lot of psychos in now, and we're starting to, I mean, it's like anything, the more you post, the more people are going to see that you can do that, so then the people that want that are going to come and see you for it. So we're just, again, we're very fortunate enough that we're in the hub of fashion. We're in London. I mean, everything happens here 2 years before it happens anywhere else. So we're very lucky. But London's also got a really great underground scene. So we've got a lot of that rockabilly scene, punks. You know, we're just very lucky that we're in that kind of city that we can get away with doing that kind of stuff. And the guys, they watch me doing those haircuts, and it makes them want to do those haircuts. So then, you know, we've started doing training after work on a Tuesday. I took Paulie for a psycho quiff the other day. A couple of Mondays ago, we don't open on a Monday, so we actually just did a full day of shaving. Ed's not quite shaving on the floor yet, but I mean, he's very, very close to it. He's only done 2 shaves in front of me. because we like to shave a certain way. You know, we like to do everything on the right-hand side of the client. We don't really tend to move over to the left because we like to feel like it's very professional. If the barber can just stay on one side, it just feels very natural, and it also feels very professional for the client because you're not leaning over them and walking around them and stuff like that. So they're both really, really good barbers. I'm really lucky to have them in the shop.
Yeah, it's funny you was just saying being in the hub of you're in the hub of fashion central pretty much, and it's funny you saying that London's 2 years ahead, because I remember interviewing Jody Taylor and he was endorsing
Such a great guy, isn't he, Jody?
And he said that you are probably the best traditional barber there is in London, which is a hell of an endorsement, because you know, if you say London's 2 years ahead, then Jody's kind of 4.5 years ahead. I mean,
that guy is like one of the most phenomenal hairdressers I've ever met. I mean, the guy's so passionate, and like the guy's scissor techniques are just through the roof. Honestly, like when we were doing the training courses, was it last year or the year before? It was really hard actually, because we were both doing a demo at the same time, but we both, every time like it was his turn to talk, I'd actually end up cutting hair because I wanted to watch him cut, and it would be vice versa. And what we had planned for an hour demo turned into 2.5 hours just because we wanted to watch each other cut hair. It was kind of a shame that we were both teaching, because I would have just preferred to sit in the front row and watch him cut. So if we ever, I mean, you know, we've not really spoken in a while because we've both been so busy. Me with the shop, him with all his photo shoots. I mean, the guy's traveling all over the world doing, you know, professional hair, and it's hard to keep up with everyone in this city because everyone's got such a tight schedule. But I think if we was to ever do anything again in the future, I'd actually like to do 2 separate demos and just sit in the front row and watch. And then I think he'd like to do the same too. So it's really flattering. Oh yeah, he's
when
amazing.
should be the operative word, not if.
What's that?
I said when should be
when,
the operative word, not if.
Well, I mean, I'm actually looking at doing some more courses this year myself privately. So I haven't decided where or anything like that yet, but I'm hoping just to find a small shop. A friend of mine, Emma, she's got a great little shop just down the road. It's only got 4 or 5 chairs in it, but I think that would be the perfect size to kind of hold a private course. So I'm just I'm in the process of chatting to her, trying to get some dates in, and then I'm hoping to post up on the Instagram soon when I've got some dates for some cutting courses myself. So that'd be nice to do, because I really want to get back into doing some more education this year.
Okay. And one quick question I want to clear up is the bike shed. I travel kind of all around the world, and everyone's so into your shop and talking about your shop. They think that you've got the biggest barbering shop in the entire world. Just give us an explanation of your...
The bike shed is not mine, right? Everyone always comes in and it's like, whoa, this is... I'm like, no. Like, I would love to claim that, but no, it's not. So the guys who own the bike shed, Vicky and Dutch, they've been good friends of mine for the last kind of 5 years. I met them actually through the chair. So I started cutting Vicky and Dutch's hair when I was still doing unisex hair. And I was working in a hairdresser's there, and then they had this great idea for this event. And it started off as a free event in Shoreditch, around the corner, where they would basically boast people's work. It was amazing just to see all these custom cafe races. We'd set up a little like barbershop in the back corner of it, doing kind of £10 haircuts, and it was the first pop-up I'd ever really done, and it was actually through my old boss. So my old boss actually had the pop-up, and then when I left that shop to move into full-time barbering, Vicky and Dutch then asked me to carry on doing the pop-ups for them. So as their brand grew, so did we. So we actually ended up doing a show with them at the Tobacco Docks, and that's when the bike shed really kind of blew up. At the first show, and Paulie was the guy that helped me. So I had also Toasty helped me run reception for that. So she was brilliant. She was running around, kind of taking everyone's appointments, and then that's how the relationship started between me, Vicky, and Dutch at the bike shed. And then as each year went on, the barbershop, as much as the brand grew for the bike shed, and so did the show, the pop-ups grew. So we went from 2 chairs to 4 chairs. I started bringing in people like Hayden Woodrow. And we started getting all these like guest barbers in from around the country, and it just became such a fun thing to do, because we had all of in my opinion, some of the best barbers in the country coming to work with me at this show. I never like to say people work for me; they always work with me. I mean, you know, we're all just mates, and we're just cutting hair. And then we got in Reserva as well, and then that's when Reserva started coming into play, because we'd use them at the pop-ups, and then that relationship grew. I mean, this whole thing has just been a blessing.
Okay, and what is your interest in bikes as well?
I like looking at them. I'm a bit scared of them. I have to be honest. I actually had, it wasn't a motorbike. It was a moped. I was a little chav, 17 years old, riding around this thing. Anyway, I pulled away and I hit a bit of black ice, and I fell off the bike, and I hurt my wrist, and I couldn't work for a few weeks. And I was only 17, so I mean, I was still only an apprentice. But the idea of falling off and hurting my hands, you know, if I fall off a motorbike and seriously hurt my hands, that's my career out the window, and that's what scares me the most. So I love looking at them, and I'd like to think later in life I'd maybe buy one, but I'd like to keep my career over a motorbike, to be honest.
Okay, that's cleared that up. And going back to fashion, as I understand it, you're bringing out a smock.
Yeah.
What is this? Tell me about this smock.
I was just getting bored of wearing aprons, basically. I mean, you know, every barber knows that, you know, if you're traveling home or commuting and you're getting on a train or in the car, and you've constantly got like little hair splinters sitting in your t-shirt, and that's great when you're wearing an apron because that gets rid of that, but the problem is you still get it all over your arms, you get it all over your chest, and like, especially with girls and stuff, I know that they're always going, oh, you know, I've got hair in my bra, and you know, it's really uncomfortable, but it's also quite bad for your skin to be covered in hair all the time. So I thought, and you know, it is a traditional thing to do, is wear a smock, and you know, I've got a couple of friends in barbershops that wear them, and I thought I'd just try one out. So a friend of Paulie's, Tan May, really lovely guy. He specialises in workwear. So we just asked him to come up with a smock idea. So me and him sat down. We decided talked about like the lapels that we wanted. We did a long sleeve to start, moved it to a short sleeve because we realised that was better. We're actually just getting the final mock-up now. We want it a little bit longer to stop it getting on your thigh a little bit as well. Every little aspect in that smock has been designed by me, Paul and Tan. Over the last 6 or 7 months, we've been trying to get it right. And I think now we're just getting it to the point where it's ready. So we've got a cinch at the back if people are, you know, want to bring it in a little bit. We've got a scissor pouch. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's too early for me, mate. And we've also got a little scissor pouch in the pocket itself, so that your scissor's not moving around. It's also at the right height that if you bend over to pick up something, the scissors doesn't fall out. The buttons are internal, apart from one at the top, just for a bit of detail. Reason being is that when you've got hair and you're brushing it down, you're not constantly pulling the buttons off, because otherwise, if the moment you do this, you're weakening all the thread. So there's been a lot of thought gone into the smock. It's also made out of a really heavy, like it's a lightweight material, but the weave on it's really fine. It's really strong, so the hair's not going to get through it. And we launder ours every weekend, sorry. And the hair comes straight off of it, so it's been a long process, but it's been really good. So we're going to release those, I think, in the next few months, in collaboration with Tan. His brand's called Lane 45, and everything that we sell is going to be on pre-order because it's all going to be handmade. It's not going to be on mass production. So everything that anyone that orders in, is going to be what their chest size is. Tan's going to send them an email back just confirming to make sure everything's right for them. And we're going to do discounts for up to 5 pieces and stuff like that as well. So, but yeah, everything's going to be completely handmade, which is going to be really nice.
And what colour are they going to be? White or washed out brown?
They're going to be blue. They're going to be in the blue that we wear in the shop. They're going to be the same as ours, and we're going to leave them totally unbranded as well, because for me, there's nothing worse than someone who's like sells a barbering piece of merch, for example. I mean, this isn't merch. This is something for you to use. And if you want to put your own branding on the pocket, because there's no point in me selling a Thy Barber smock and it's got Thy Barber on the pocket if your shop's called Billy Bob's Barber Shop, you know. So like the point is that you can put your own brand on it, and then it's completely unbranded, so you can customize it yourself when you get it.
Okay, which is fair enough. And you spoke. So this is going to be purely on mail order. I mean, you've got quite a, traditional classic kind of brand going on. What do you actually sell in your shop in terms of product?
Well, in terms of products in the shop, we sell obviously tons of pomade. We've got a couple of different brands there. We're using Ruzal. We've got Layrite in the shop. We've been using a lot of this oil can grooming for beard oils. That's been selling like wildfire. It's absolutely brilliant. We also really work quite closely. We've just been made ambassadors for a brand called Camden Watch Company. really good friends of ours. They do really lovely traditional classic watches, so we actually sell them in the shop as well. But the one thing we're really excited about is my friend Joth from Savills has just released a brand called Copacetic. So really kind of nice, stylish packaging and things like that. It's all really Art Deco, but we're very strict about what we use in the shop, because I spent ages deciding what I wanted in there, and I really didn't want to get any more branding in. I didn't want to get any more brands into the shop. But this product's it's a really good product. So they've got a really nice pomade they've got a great matte range, and we're just really excited to get that in. We should be actually getting our first order this week, so that'd be really good. We're really excited about that coming in.
Okay, excellent. And like I introduced at the very beginning, you are going to be on the front cover of Barber Evo, and the picture, yourself and your team, and the picture or the image they'll be using is from an artist who's travelling around the country at the moment, doing paint portraits of barbers, and you are, I guess in some respects, are his signature piece. You're going to be on the front. Tell me a little bit about Vincent's work and how you met Vincent and what you're doing with each other, and when his exhibition is.
So we met Vince actually at the Bike Shed show. He came up to us when we were working at the last one, when we had, I think it was, when he did a painting of Paulie. Just brought it in randomly, this beautiful portrait of him cutting this guy's hair with a big beard, and the guy charges quite a lot of money for these portraits. I mean, because he's so skilled and it takes him a lot of time, and he just came in and offered it to Paul for free, and we just thought it was just such a nice gesture. And then he mentioned that he really wanted to do more work on barbers, obviously because it's quite an interesting subject to paint. You've got two faces in most portraits. You've got a lot of tattoos going on at the moment, tools, there's lots of reflections. The backgrounds are very interesting because everyone's barbershop's so different, because everything's so personal to each barber that owns the shop. So for him, I'm guessing, I can imagine that he just really, I can see exactly why he wanted to do it. So he asked us to put him in touch with some of the people that we knew, the cool looking guys and the people that are more respected and stuff like that. So, and then since then our relationship with him has grown. And he's come in, he's taken pictures of us. We've actually got a portrait each now above our mirrors. And it's such a huge talking point in the shop. But I don't know if anyone's watching this that hasn't seen his work, make sure you head over to his Instagram, because it's amazing. Some of the time lapses he does to watch him do the painters like Ryan Costello, he's got Hayden Woodrow, Matt Robinson, he's done Kem and the guys down at his shop at Cuts and Bruises. He's got Tom Liptrop from Nomad Barber, and I know he's starting to do Rob from Squarum. The guy's work's insane. But he's got this great exhibition coming up on the 16th of March here just in Hoxton down the road. I'm just really hoping that every barber can make it down to it, because it's going to be amazing.
Can you just reel off Vince's Instagram address so people can get...
At Vince Camp, with a Vince Camp's got a K in it, so if that helps. But yeah, it's insane work, really is. The portrait he's done of us, all three of us as a whole, I think it took him like over a month to paint, he was saying, and it's absolutely huge. I mean, it's a piece like that. I mean, I really imagine it above a fireplace next to a Chesterfield sofa with like a Atlas, one of those globe whiskey decanters and stuff like that all next to it. It's just absolutely amazing. It really is art. It's so good.
Actually, it would quite work with your Chesterfield sofa.
Yeah, it would work with this right now, wouldn't it, actually? Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's one to really, really look out for. In terms of events, what kind of events can people expect to see you at this month? I mean, you've got quite a following, so people are very interested to know where they can kind of shake hands and get up close and personal with you.
Since we've opened the shop, we've not been doing as many events as we were before, mainly because it takes so much time. I've got to spend a lot of time out of the shop. I mean, I'm going back and forth, as people, if they follow me on Instagram, they already know I'm going back and forth from Canada a lot at the moment. So for me to do events is actually quite time consuming, although it's really good for the brand. So we're, and also I've got a lot of stuff going on this year. I'm getting married this year. I've got, my girlfriend's moving, my fiance's moving back to England, and so we're, the shop's obviously going really well. So we've got a lot going on. So we're minimalising what we're doing this year. So we've got obviously the Bike Shed event in May, which is going to be huge. It always is. So I'm really hoping people can make it down to that. It's on the 28th and the 29th of May, I think. I'm going to have to double check that. End of May. And it's at the Tobacco Docks in London. So anyone who's around at the end of May, come down to that. And then I'm also doing a thing with Ryan from SB Barbers at the Newcastle Tattoo Show. I think it's the first one that they've really had up there, and we're quite excited about that because I quite like the idea of it being quite small and quite new, because it means we're going to see a lot of new faces that we've not met before. And it always feels really good because it's smaller, you can actually talk to people more on a personal level rather than a huge event where like you don't really know anyone, everyone's just kind of taking pictures and stuff, and that's all great because it feels a bit like glitz and glam, but it's quite nice to meet people on a more of a quieter atmosphere. So I'm quite looking forward to that. And that's in April.
Grow with it.
Sorry?
And grow with it.
Yeah, watch it grow. I mean that's what happened here. This is just all happened from like one tiny little show in Shoreditch Studios, one little room. And now look at it. I mean, it's got 4 archways in this place, and a barber shop, a retail store. We've got a restaurant. I mean, it's huge. And so to watch like something like a Newcastle Tattoo Show grow, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, you're talking about growing. I remember in our last interview, I was kind of predicting you're going to have a problem, that you're going to have to knock down your end of wall and make an extension.
And it's actually, do you know what? It's because you don't really need a lot of room to cut hair in. I mean, people are like want these like massive shops and stuff, but really, you only need this amount of space. As long as you've got a mirror, a chair, and your client, you can cut hair in it. I mean, you know, so it doesn't always have to be absolute. I mean, our shop's only 140 square foot. It's 6 meters by 3. We've got 3 people in there comfortably.
And in closing, Frank, because you've got clients about to come into the shop, I'm very keen to know about the shave-off you've done of Ricky Hall. He entrusted you to shave a beard that he had apparently for 7 years. Tell me about this shave-off. And
that was a huge thing for Ricky. Bless him, his father passed away last year of, Ricky, forgive me, I can never get the pronunciation right, but I think it's got mesothelioma cancer. So the whole point of this shave-off, I mean, everyone, when we started promoting it, thought it was just a big PR thing for Ricky, and it wasn't at all. It was literally just to raise money for the Cancer Trust into the research and how to find cures, and obviously the research into how to make things better for that cancer. So what we did was we just basically did a huge thing with Captain Fawcett's endorsed it. So I used all of their shave products. I know they put a load of money into the charity. And it was just a great event. I think we had about 30 or 40 people outside the shop just watching through the window. We had it filmed. It's on YouTube if anyone wants to watch it. But it was just such a huge thing for Ricky because he's everyone only ever knows him because of his beard. And his little girl was there, and she'd never even seen him without a beard because she's only young. She cried.
Yeah, no, does it frighten some kids?
She cried because she's never seen her father without a beard. It's amazing to see like a little family impact on it as well, you know. But it was such a big thing for him to take that off. I mean, anyone will know that, you know, it's just hair and it grows back. But I mean, that's his career's built on that beard. So for him to do that was quite a big thing. And now he's got no problem growing it back, shaving it off, doing different things with his moustache, and, you know, doing mutton chops and stuff. He's come into the shop a few times actually since, and we've done a few different shapes on him. And it's just really nice to see that he's embraced the fact that he doesn't have to have a beard. I mean, we've all got a face underneath our facial hair, you know, and people always think that they hate their own face, but you're born with that face, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it was great to see so many people put money into that charity. It was a really big thing for us. I was so stoked to be a part of it, and really privileged. And
commissioned and entrusted to do.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a big thing.
Such a great thing. And also as well, I mean, for someone who's got a big beard who's not shaved for 7 years, sometimes it can be a tough shave. Anyone who shaves knows that people who don't shave on a regular basis, you know, you're probably going to get a few marks, you're going to go red, you're going to get irritation, and like, we'd spent a long time doing the shave, but the guy had no irritation, he was really happy with it, and it just made me feel so good that he felt good afterwards as well. It was really
proper
nice.
Preparation.
Yeah,
always helps.
All in proper preparation, yeah. But yeah, it was great, I really enjoyed it.
Okay. So Frank, thank you very much for finding the time to give me this interview today. Carry on growing with the success of your shop. Your modelling career is taking off. And your courses, I'm sure, will come back nearer the end of the year once you've got your marriage out of the way and all the other challenges of running a barbershop. So I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.